Yo, this is Wesley L., the dark horse of the crew, and you listening to the Crew Podcast, only on YouTube. Keep us locked in, baby. We out.
I'm William Bryson. I'm the founder and the owner of the crew. And this morning, my guest on the podcast is my boy. I mean, when I say my boy, I mean like school bus, like same school bus, regular or handicapped school bus. AKA Mr. Smiles, Brennan Hardin. Brennan, good morning. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, founder. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the crew family. Good morning to the crew fans and everybody that's tuning in to check out this podcast.
You know, we were supposed to do this Friday night, but some things came up on both ends, and we had to reschedule that. So I want to, thank you for taking time out this morning to do that. You know what? I say this, and I've done this podcast with, of course, Nell and Wesley. Every time we do something like this, a podcast, or every time we come up with some kind of idea for the crew, I get really excited. Just because, we're doing it with family and of course, you guys as well. So let's start, because people don't know this, but you and I literally grew up 2 blocks away from each other.
Yeah, that's how it went down.
Yeah, I tell people, and I remember, I was talking to Wesley. We grew up in that generation of like what, Super Nintendo?
Man.
Well, maybe
the original NES.
It may have been Atari.
Right.
That's right. Hey, look, I had an Atari and a rotary phone. That was the only thing.
I didn't have no rotary.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, that's probably why you never come to my house. So, speaking of, like I said, the early days and growing up, we're going to get into that. But, excuse me. But let me talk to you about, when I say early days, let me kind of rephrase that so everybody knows. We went to the same elementary, which was, Santa Fe. We went to the same junior high, which was, Irvin.
9 years, yep.
Yeah, 9 years, yeah. And then, of course, we went to Hickman Mills, which was the high school.
The Cougars.
Yeah, the Cougars, yeah. Yeah. That was back when they had the consolidation. I just want people to know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And accreditation.
And accreditation, correct. Let's start with Santa Fe. I know we talked about this. We met there, and of course, I think back then it was what, grades 1 through 6. No, it was kindergarten through 6, right?
K through 6.
Yeah. Do you remember your kindergarten teacher?
I don't, but I do remember my first grade teacher. It was Ms. Johnson.
Oh, Miss Johnson. So I had my kindergarten teacher was Miss Henley.
Okay.
Then in first grade was Mrs. Quick. You remember that?
Yeah, Mrs. Quick.
Second grade was Miss Ramsey.
I had Ramsey second grade.
Yeah, Ramsey, man, she was a killer.
Man, she was nice.
I remember she tried to spin me for picking my nose. So, but growing up like that, I mean, we really did. We we had a lot of fun, and of course, I remember, and we talked about this yesterday. I remember when we would leave school and we'd go to your house after school.
Yeah.
And it was like a group of us. I would think it was like I said, like Twan, Gibson, myself, you. Of course, you lived there, so you had to be there. And some other people, but we were really just after school. We were playing like Tecmo Bowl and all that.
Man, yeah, it was on the Nintendo. We was playing basketball. Sometimes they get the 2-hand touch football going in the middle of the street. You never know what would go down.
Yeah,
we always had our bikes. We was rolling on them bikes.
God, yeah, you guys had a bike. I had a 10-speed. so, so, so yeah, I
Switching gears.
yeah. So eventually I caught up, but but that was a struggle because I had to shift gears and all that. So, one thing I want to talk to you about is because, like I said, we went from Santa Fe to Irvin, and of course, when you get in junior high, a lot of things change. Do you remember your first girlfriend?
I do, man. I remember my first girlfriend. Um, hey, it was crazy. It was it was a crazy experience. My first girlfriend, 7th grade. You know, things was going good. Liked each other. Few rough patches, you know. Had to get a divorce, but
Right,
we
right.
we reconciled. We still good friends today. But you know, man, you know, you in 7th grade, it's that young love. You think you can take on the world, and it's just you and her. And man, yeah.
Yeah,
Lo and behold,
and we talked
it
about
didn't
this.
stay that way.
Yeah, and we talked about this yesterday. I mean, back then, a relationship consisted of you you date, but you don't talk to each other.
Right.
Um,
You only see each other during the 5-minute pass period.
right. I'm gonna walk you to your class. I'm gonna walk you to your class, and then be late to my next one because I'm taking you to your next one. Um, and we talked about this yesterday also. Of course, there was always that. I don't even know how they really announce it, but people would always say, if you're a 7th grader, they had 7th grade day where you got beat up.
Yeah.
Remember that? People take you in the bathroom and beat you up.
I got knocked out on 7th grade day, dude.
Yeah, I didn't even go in that day.
Good for you.
Yeah,
I literally got knocked out.
Yeah, probably. But no, I never experienced that. But and we talked about this also. Bullies,
Yeah.
and of course it's not the same bully or bullying as it is today. Back then we didn't even know what that really meant. We talked about Brandon Bash. We know Brandon. Brandon's our boy. Brandon. I mean, at that point in time, he was like 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
And that was like my arch nemesis. I don't know why. But yeah, he was one. And but when you look back, and that was what, 7th and 8th grade.
Yo.
We talked about this yesterday. You had a mad crush on what?
Yeah.
Who'd you have a mad crush on?
Yeah, once we got in high school, my man, I had a crush on Shantae McDaniel.
Oh,
dude.
Shantae. Yeah.
Yeah, I was crushing hard on that lady, man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We were good friends. We remained cool, man. She was just my eye candy for 3 years that I could never, get to even take out on a date.
Now is that when we got to Hickman Mills?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because then that dynamic was just different because now you're in high school and you're getting ready to graduate. If you made it past 10th, 11th, and 12th, after high school, that's kind of where me and you kind of split up. And of course, when you're no longer going to school, you definitely gonna go different paths. What was your path after that? Did you go to college? Did you go to school?
Man, right after high school, I was aggressive with going straight to college because I thought that was the right thing to do, the thing that you're supposed to do. So, of course, I ended up going to college my freshman year to Grand Bus State University. One of the worst mistakes of my life and investments, man. I get down there. I ain't even down there the first semester. I make it to Thanksgiving break. So, Thanksgiving break, I come home with a duffel bag full of week clothes, so I'm going to be home for the week.
Right, college.
I return. I return back, getting to get my knowledge on. Man, don't you know, I came back, my whole dorm room was empty. Me and 3 of my other roommates, they broke into our room, man. Took like, yo, where'd you get that from? You know, and they told me, so I had to go back and confront these dudes. Now, it didn't get too wild or crazy because I'm down in Louisiana, nowhere near my turf. You know, I'm from the Midwest, Kansas City, so I ain't gonna act too ignorant and stupid because they called the boys and I ain't got none.
You went to college down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, and I know because I didn't know that. So that is a what was the scenery and the vibe? Because you mentioned, you know, you're a Midwest boy. So what is the scenery down there?
When I got down there, I mean, it had almost, you know, the same kind of Midwest vibe. You could definitely get the Southern feel about it. I mean, for one, it was muggy and hot every day. Just humid, retarded, humid.
Right.
Mosquitoes, man. And see, since we're so close to the water down there, man, it was just constant heat. So every day you walk into class, you got a rag. It's either going to be wet because you wet it up so you don't dehydrate, or it's going to be wet from your sweat because you walked around 3 miles in between classes.
Right.
So, but no, man, you know, I really didn't get a chance to explore too much when I was down there, being that I was a freshman. They didn't allow freshmen to have cars on campus. So when I did get out, it was to go to another, you know, college like LSU and check that out. Pretty nice, different scenery, but like I said, total different demeanors down there as far as the whole Southern attitude.
Right.
And nothing wrong with it, nothing bad at all. It's just that, you know, sometimes you have to adapt, and so like their whole different way of communicating was different. So I found myself starting to talk, you know, that Southern slang, man, for a little bit. Yeah.
What was your major?
My major when I first started was going to be business management or business administration.
Okay.
So I originally applied to Arizona State University. I got in there, and then of course I got into Grambling State, and I went with Grambling State when I should have went to Arizona State. Long story short, I switched my major, went into network administration, and now I'm a network admin, man. Okay.
Hey, I ain't mad at you about that. When we come back, and we're going to take just a real quick break here in the next minute, but when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple things. You're a father.
Yeah.
To, I believe, 2 girls?
Twin girls.
Twin girl. Right. Oh, my. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I know they just had birthday, so I want to, you know, give a shout out to them. And what's their names?
Jordan and Jamia, man.
Oh, wow.
My ladies.
Your babies, yeah. Man. And so I want to talk to you about that and of course, fatherhood and how that's changed you from, you know, the Brendan Hardin I know as the kid you grew up with to Brendan Hardin the man. And then, of course, I want to talk to you about the crew and Mr. Smiles.
All right.
And your commercials you're going to be your commercials that are going to be coming out. But this is William Bryson, again, Brendan Hardin. This is the Crew Podcast, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. This is Xavier Henderson, the lawyer for the Crew, a.k.a. Two Picks. You're listening to the Crew Podcast. You need to stay tuned for more because we're amazing. Thank you.